Hey there everyone, and welcome back to more Star Ocean the Second Story. My name is Rabbit, and I know in our previous episode I told you guys that for this video we are going to focus on continuing the Secret Information Sidequest and completing it, and that still is a true statement. We are going to focus on that during this episode, but I did want to go ahead and start out, since we were in the area, with us looking at the bunny races and trying to get some more pairs of bunny shoes. So in case you don't remember what the bunny shoes are, what I am talking about, the bunny shoes are these fabulous pink boots that make Claude super fucking fast. And you can find another pair later on, but I think it's a good idea while we're here to just go ahead and try to get one or two other pairs. I think it's good to go ahead and have 4 total, just so that everyone in your main party can have them on. And obviously when you're switching and rotating your party members kind of through, if you're trying to equally level everybody, you can go ahead and switch them out to the people who are actively going to be used. So it's kind of up to you. I have some friends that they like to go ahead and have 8 so that everyone has their own pair, but I think that's a little bit of overkill, especially because, like I said, you can find another set. The first pair that I have right now, I had originally stolen from this bunny a very, very long time ago. But the rest of them that we can get right this instance can come from... Oh my god, if I could talk to them. So anyway, continuing what I was saying, so the other pairs that we can get right this instant, we can acquire from betting on the bunny races. So you talk to this guy, and he says, hi there, buy tickets, buy tickets. Tickets cost 1,000 full. You can buy up to 8. How many do you want? So it's kind of up to you again. You can go ahead and just buy a bunch of them, but there's not really a price drop or any incentive to buy more than just one at a time, especially if you're not sure if you want to keep going. So I'm going to actually start out and buy 4, because I don't know if I want to bet that much more than that. I'll let you guys see how one of the races actually goes. And what's the matter? Something about this bunny. Could it be ADD? So I'll let you guys see one of the races, and then after that I'll kind of put my last couple of bets, and hopefully I'll get at least one other set of shoes out of this. So I would suggest coming and talking to this guy. I hear mixed things about him. Some people swear up and down that he's accurate and he helps them, and I've never seen that much success from utilizing this guy, but let's just talk to him. Anyway, he's Siggy the tipster. Hurry, ladies and gentlemen, get your tips here. That'll be 220 full, but I mean, it's so cheap. We have so much fucking money. Might as well do it. Alrighty, only gonna tell you once, so listen careful. Of course, you got your speed in a bunny race, but there's another factor. Stamina. Yep, stamina. Now there's stamina, and then there's stamina. Check them out at the paddock. A bunny will run real fast, and that'll use up his stamina. Another bunny will run slow, won't make good use of his stamina. When a bunny's stamina runs out, the bunny stops running. It's a hard one to read. And then there's personality. You got your short fusers, you got your unpredictables, your time takers, and your eggheads. But don't think just because you got your bunny's personality figured, he's gonna run that way. That's what's different between me and you. I got an eye for this kind of thing. Then you got your super bunny phenomenon. That's when a bunny will just take off like a shot for no reason, you can figure. And your super bunny's fast alright, but he burns up stamina like a prairie fire. Now that you got some background, your tip is 2-1. Now this is just a tip, mind you. Don't come back squalling to me if it don't turn out that way. Okay, so he's saying 2-1. I'm not going to bet 2-1. Well, we'll have to see in just a second. So the sportscaster says, ladies and gentlemen, the Fun City Cup is about to begin. We can look forward to the best weather ever for this race. And the bunnies are also in their best condition. This is Willie Makeit, your sportscaster, with commentary from bunny expert Betty Daunt. It's a pleasure to be here, Will. The pleasure is ours here at International Fun City Bunny Racetrack. How about a look at the bunnies? So you don't have to look at the rabbits if you don't want to, but I'm just going to do it just so you guys can see what that guy, Siggy the tipster, was talking about. So number 1 is Pink Bunny. Sorry to say, but this bunny is a little slow. Excellent stamina. This bunny has undergone serious strength training. Says here, Bunny 1 is quite smart. He knows how to use his stamina. This could affect the outcome. And number 2 is Green Bunny. Not fast but not slow is the verdict on this bunny. This bunny has a normal amount of stamina, and he seems to be in good condition too. Says here, Bunny 2 has a short fuse. He might just take off for no reason and maybe waste stamina. with yellow bunny as number 3. Sorry to say, but this bunny is a little slow. This bunny seems to have quite good stamina. I would say he's a good bet. Says here, bunny 3 has a short fuse. He might just take off for no reason and maybe waste stamina. And then we should only have one more bunny to actually look at here. Last but not least, blue bunny as number 4. Not fast but not slow is the verdict on this bunny. Doesn't seem to have much stamina. Notice the sad look on the bunny's face. Says here, bunny 4 is unpredictable. True, it's very hard to tell about this bunny. Okay, you guys, so that's how you can kind of look at the descriptions for the bunnies if you really care that much about trying to bet to win. I think it's better to try to bet to get the prize. Oh no, bunny shoes aren't in this one, so I actually don't really care. So as you can see from the prizes, there's like a list of different things that you can bet on, and the numbers basically reflect which bunny comes in first and second. So looking at the very first thing that's in our prize list, it's magical drops. 1, 2 means that bunny number 1, so the pink bunny, wins first, and then bunny number 2, the green bunny, gets second. I believe those are the color orders. I think pink is 1, green is 2, yellow is 3, and blue is 4. Anyway, bunny number 1 gets first, bunny number 2 gets second. That's how you read those numbers in front of the item. Usually bunny shoes show up on here, but we're not seeing them right now. So like I said, I don't really care about the outcome of this race, but we're just going to bet on something just so you can see how it goes. It looked like from the description that bunnies 3 and bunny 2 were our best bets, but I don't like the prize for 3-2. So I'm going to go 2-3 for another lunatic ring and see how it goes. Actually, most of these prizes are just so-so. Okay, we're going to go 2-3. All right. So we think that green bunny is going to get first, and we think yellow bunny is going to get second. So 2-3. All right, guys, let's see if this works. I can't believe we're fucking gambling on rabbits. How appropriate, right? So this is totally random. There's nothing you can do to influence this. Like, you can't press buttons or anything. Wow. Jeez Louise. So this isn't looking good for us. Well, maybe. So yes, this is what I spend my hard-earned full on. Fucking bunny races. But I promise you, if you kind of cycle through this, eventually bunny shoes will appear on the list, and all you can do is just continue to bet on the bunny shoes, and eventually you will win a pair. But it can take a long time, so it's kind of unfortunate. Okay, so, and he crosses the finish line. The winner is number 1, pink bunny, and then 3 is next. And in second place, number 3, yellow bunny. Okay, so we did not win with our bet, but that's okay. So what a race. Amazing. The race results were 1-3. Truly amazing. So, Claude, what you got to say? He lost, but I'll pick the next one. 3 more tickets. So you have the option of betting on the next race, or you can go ahead and wait. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause the camera here. I'm going to do some more bets on my own to try to get a pair of bunny shoes. Maybe 2. I don't know. I'll see how much time this ends up taking. But when we do come back, I swear we're going to actually do the Secret Information Sidequest. So I will meet you guys outside of giveaway. I will show you if we win more than 1 pair of bunny shoes. So yeah, we'll just catch up outside of giveaway. So I'll see you guys in just a second. Alrighty guys, welcome back. So as embarrassing as this is to confess, I spent about an hour trying to get a fucking pair of bunny shoes, and I was able to get 1 pair, but I was not about to stick it out to try to get a second one. So it really just all comes down to luck, which I believe is something that I've already mentioned. There's not really any way, as far as I know, to increase your odds. I mean, it's possible that talking to the guy who gives you the tips might help, but I don't know. I've never noticed it actually making a difference for me. So with all of that being said and done, I'm going to go ahead and give Opera the new bunny shoes. So that makes 2 people in our party who have some super fast shoes. And I don't know, maybe I'll go back later to try to get a 3rd pair for Ernest. But after I hit the hour mark, I was like, fuck this. I'm not staying here for 1 second longer. So I am outside of giveaway, which I promised you guys I would bring you back when I was here, because we are going to be continuing the Secret Information Sidequest. So I know some people opt to just go ahead and wait until right now to start it, but the reason why I went ahead and showed you guys how to kind of get the ball rolling with this much earlier was because I thought it was a pretty convenient time to do so. But I mean, there's no real reason to get it started as early as I did, especially since you can't finish it until now. Okay, so we're going to come up here and chat with Rifus. I can't say this in too loud of a voice, but we have tried hacking into the North City Library to get access to the mysterious files. It is not going well. If only we had some hints. If we could get some backdoor information, blah, 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 blah. We already did all this with you. That reminds me, it seems that someone recently managed to break into the previously closed heraldry weapons laboratory. Okay, so here's where the conversation is actually starting to be different. Do you know anything about that? He's talking about us. So we're going to just say, I mean the truth really, that it was us who broke into the heraldry weapons laboratory. I mean, why wouldn't we tell him the truth? Really, it was you. You must have accessed the databanks of the laboratory. Can you tell us the access code? What do you plan to do with it? It might be a hint for gaining access to the classified files. So we're going to tell him, obviously. Well, actually, I don't remember. I remember. Of course you do, Rena. Really? Yes, it is this really long, ridiculous sequence that I am not going to read. Wow, Rena. Yes, indeed. Those are good numbers. Hang on a second. There were a couple letters in there, buddy. Here we go. Yes, that did it. It's so simple if you know the key. Well, no shit, Sherlock. Alright, so we'll talk to him again. Well, look at that. I can see the secret data of North City as if I were holding it in my hands. So let's start off by looking at project planning documents. We'll look at File 1. Rebellions against the planet Nede have now broken out in 24 different frontier planets. It appears that several of the technologies of the planet Nede have been leaked to the forces of undeveloped planets, so we suspect that Nadean conspirators are cooperating with the rebel forces. We must quickly develop new weapons in order to suppress these rebel forces. Let's check out File 2. Based on the research of Dr. Lantis, it was discovered that by applying technologies derived from heraldry science to make modifications to the DNA of people, it is possible to create bioweapons that have heraldry powers much more powerful than normal. File 3. A military Supreme Council decided that the aforementioned bioweapons should be urgently put into practical use and used for the defense and control of the frontier planets. The code name for the project was decided to be 10 Wise Men Defense Plan, Phase 1. Under the direction of Dr. Lantis, the construction of 10 bioweapons began. Depending on the results of the plan, they plan to continue on to Phase 2, Phase 3, and into the construction phase. Okay, so that's it for those. So let's check out research reports. File 1. The close-in combat weapon, Marsilio, the remote projectile attack weapon, Shigeo, the base defense special weapon, Burl. Do those names sound familiar to you guys? Because those are the three, well, I guess I should say the first 3 of the 10 wise men that we have encountered and defeated already. These 3 weapons were completed. In addition, development was started on the strategic weapon, Dekus, to be used to control these 3 weapons. File 2. The 2 information gathering agents, Ruprecht and Nicholas, were completed. Together with the information analysis agent Jabril, completed earlier, these agents were assembled under the command of civilian control agent Vesper. In addition, the agent named Cyril, used to monitor the 10 wise men, was also completed at the same time. And File 3. Dr. Lantis' last surviving family members, his daughter Filia, was the victim of a terrorist attack by rebel forces opposed to the 10 wise men defense plan. However, the military decided to impose an information blackout and decided upon a policy of concealing the truth from Dr. Lantis. That is never, ever, ever, ever a good idea. Was that the 3rd file that we just looked at? Okay, yes, it was. My bad, guys, my bad. So as you can see, we're getting a lot of backstory on the 10 wise men. Hey, new menu items can now be selected. Okay, so we looked at the first 2. Let's check out Letter of Apology. Uh-oh. Type 4 anti-program, Klein activated. Firewall currently under construction. We're busted. Our access has been ratted out. We can't go any further. What's wrong? This computer contains 7 anti-computer invasion programs that I wrote. Even if we are denied, this location should not have been discovered. I see, so I guess you cannot obtain any more information. Not exactly. I have already downloaded the files. Now all we need to do is decode the individual files. And how the hell do we do that? Finding that key is harder than doing the hacking. So yeah, as you can tell, we cannot access the last two quite yet, but it's a pretty simple solution. So we're gonna run out and head all the way over to the dean's office, which I believe was on the first floor, but on this side, so let's check it out. All right, the dean's office. And a blueberry, wonderful. What? Rifus has been doing such horrible... Yet, I too am interested in the contents. Why don't you try using this? So we received a special item called Pandora's Box. This is some sort of ancient decoder, but no one knows how to use it. It is completely useless for the ordinary kind of decoding. Perhaps it might be of use? Alright, well let's go and find out. So we're going to run all the way back and hand this over to him. Not sure why communication is so poor within this university. You would think the dean would be able to actually interact with Rifus himself. Okay. Well, we got this Pandora's box, so let's see what we can do. Dean Perel is giving this to me? What an amazing stroke of luck. Let's look at it once. It may take some time. It is being analyzed now. It is quite strong after all. So basically, we've got to run out and then run back in. So give me just a second, and I will be right back. Okay, guys, so welcome back. All I basically did was I ran outside of town, re-entered town via private action, came back up here in the private action. He was not in this lab, so then I left, and then came back in the normal format to come talk to him. So I know some people sometimes have a difficult time getting this conversation to spawn. I guess whenever they keep coming in to talk to him, he continuously just tells them, oh, you know, it's still decoding, blah, 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 come back later. But like I said, those were the steps that I took. So just to repeat, all I did was I exited this town, which is giveaway. I re-entered via private action, and while in a private action, I came back in here as Claude. Rifus was not in this room. I left town completely, so we all reassembled as a party, and then I just got back in this room and talked to him within my full party. So those are the only steps that I did. Nothing else happened, and as you can see, he is saying something new. So if it doesn't work for you, I would suggest maybe flying to a different town, entering that town via private action, maybe visit 2 or 3 towns via private actions. You don't really have to talk to anybody, just go and enter a town in the PA format. So yeah, that's all I can really suggest to you. But anyway, let's continue. So I just spoke to him and he says, oh, you came at a good time. The decoding has just now finished. Let's look at it at once. Okay, so we looked at these first 2, so now let's check out Letter of Apology. File 1. Dr. Lantis suddenly activated all of the defensive mechanisms within the laboratory and completely sealed off the interior of the laboratory. It appears that he somehow became aware of the terrorist attack during experiments on the information-gathering agents Ruprecht and Nicholas. He holed himself up in the laboratory and appeared to have made some kind of modifications to the 10 Wise Men agents. It appears that as soon as the military gives permission, security forces will need to enter the laboratory and capture the person of Dr. Lantis. Well, it's their fault. They shouldn't have fucking lied to him. The 10 Wise Men who came out of the interior of the laboratory began indiscriminate attacks on facilities in their vicinity. It appears that, for some reason, Dr. Lantis had changed their ultimate objective from the control of frontier planets to the annihilation of the entire universe. An entire squadron of mechanized troops that entered the laboratory was completely annihilated. In order to destroy the 10 Wise Men, who continue to run out of control repeatedly, a request to call out the Planet Nede occupation forces will be made. I mean, it's definitely an overreaction for him to want to murder the universe just because his daughter got murdered mercilessly, but I can see why he'd be pissed off that they withheld this information from him. Anyway, continuing to File 3, as the result of a pitched battle, the security forces succeeded in driving the 10 wise men into the interior of the laboratory. When the interior of the laboratory was entered, the interior was found to be an empty shell. It appears that somehow Dr. Lantis had confined the 10 wise men in eternity space and left them in outer space. Although the 10 wise men could not be completely destroyed, there is no method of releasing the eternity space except for entering a release password from outside, so they will not cause much trouble. The 10 wise men will thus probably be left wandering through outer space for eternity. Haha, or so you bitches thought. Okay, the final report. File 1. A person who had committed suicide inside the laboratory was confirmed to be Dr. Lantis himself without a doubt. Thus, this matter came to a resolution. However, one troubling thing was that the remains of the thought routines of Dr. Lantis and his daughter Filia had been left in the computers inside the laboratory. It is feared that perhaps Dr. Lantis had converted his own consciousness into a computer program which was embedded into the as-yet incomplete Indelicio. Because of this series of incidents due to the 10 Wise Men plan, 80% of the entire forces of Planet Nede had suffered crushing blows. The frontier planet seized this opportunity to start a coordinated revolt. It became more and more difficult to suppress these rebel forces. Seeing the gravity of the situation, the Supreme Council of the Planet Nede made the decision to migrate the entire population to an artificial satellite. And our last File 3. This artificial satellite was named Energy Nede, which would be completely surrounded with a Class 9 super energy field. This would halt the advance of the rebel forces upon the original Planet Nede. However, this would also cut off all interaction between us Nedeans and the outside world. Together with our migration to Energy Nede, it was decided to impose an information blackout on this entire series of incidents. Thus, all of the facts related to the 10 Wise Men defense plan will be purged from history. So yeah, that's it. This is incredible. And there you guys go. So that's all the information that we have. So yeah, even if you talk to him again, that's all you can access, but that sums up the Secret Information Sidequest. So I guess to summarize everything as we head outside to save, basically, Dr. Lantis was this genius, along with his daughter Filia, and Filia was helping to create these, I guess you could say, weapons of mass destruction, but they weren't going to be used for mass destruction. They were going to be used to, in a sense, just help kind of get shit together. And she was murdered, Filia that is, by a bunch of terrorists because they didn't agree with having such powerful weapons. And Dr. Lantis was pissed off because they tried to keep this information from him. So, yeah, basically, he ended up committing suicide, but he first put his memories and mindset, as well as the memories and mind of his daughter, into one of the 10 Wise Men. It said it was the one that was not complete, whereas the rest were. The name is Indelicio, and Indelicio actually happens to be our final boss. So he is the entity that when we face him, you can face him either with the limiter on or the limiter off. And when you are trying to get the limiter off, it's going to involve another scene with Filia. If you guys recall, we've already met, I guess, sort of the spirit of Filia way back a long time ago in Click when she was proclaiming that basically the whole city was going to get washed out and, yeah, it was just going to basically face some uber shit. So yeah, her prophecy was true. Basically she was just a ghost, but that's kind of the story, I guess, the succinct version. But I definitely think this is a good little side quest to do, especially if you're interested in the lore of this world. I think the game did a really good job at the very beginning of explaining a lot of stuff that was going on and tying it into the story, but as you get further and further into it, it kind of drops the ball on a couple of points, and I don't know, it just almost feels like you're trying to save the world just for the sake of saving the world, but there's not as much motivation. But I think this side quest gives you a little bit of that extra history. It gives you a little bit of that extra motivation to care more deeply about the characters and the inhabitants of this world. So that's why I like to do it. That's why I like to showcase it. If you think it's a little bit too tedious to go through all the steps, well then just consider it done. I just did it for you, and you actually doing this side quest doesn't unlock anything extra. So don't feel like if you don't do this, you won't be able to face Indelicio with his limiter off. It actually has no bearing on that. but I will explain all of that stuff to you when we actually get down to it. But this is a very long episode. I'm actually going to go ahead and call it quits for today. I believe that is 5 episodes that we got pumped out. So when we do resume our next recording session, we're pretty much going to wrap up the main part of this game. All we have left to do next is go to Laqua to kind of prepare to take on Fional, and then we're going to go through Fional, and then we're going to beat Indelicio with his limiter on, and then we're going to backtrack, turn the limiter off, but before facing him again, we'll then return to Expel, do the Cave of Trials, and then a couple other little side questy things, and then we will finally come back and beat Indelicio with his limiter off. So yeah, I think that's everything in terms of what we have waiting ahead of us, you guys. So yeah, we're so close to being done with the main story. I'm so excited that we're going to very quickly be getting to the actual meat of the secret stuff, or I guess the extra stuff, because that's kind of the most fun in my opinion. But anyway, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm sorry that this was a longer episode, but I did want to showcase the bunny shoes, and I wanted to wrap up this Secret Information Sidequest. So I'm going to just bounce out of here now. Thanks again for always watching and for always supporting me, you guys. If you ever have any questions, comments, or concerns, you know how to reach me. So until I see you next time, take good care of yourselves, and I will be in touch with you soon. Bye, everyone!